If you guys haven't been keeping up with the channel and or haven't seen the most recent video, well, there was some drama I was involved in lately that someone was calling me a transphobic racist. Basically, they had played a game against me in Dead by Daylight, and they came into my chat and I was being toxic, misgendering the new survivor, Arella Rose, and apparently it was just a really bad time for them. Now, of course, none of this was true, but that didn't stop them from going on TikTok and posting about it. They had left the comment on a video about tunneling Arellas because they're trans, and that comment had gained a little bit of traction, and a little bit turned into a lot very quickly. They had pretty much blatantly lied about me and the way that I was acting, but a lot of people chose to believe it instead of doing their own research. Now, don't get me wrong, there were still a lot of people who were supportive of me or just knew, maybe from being in the community for more than 5 seconds, that that's not how I act. But nonetheless, I got death threats, I got dox threats, my Twitch channel was getting mass reported. All my channels were, my YouTube, my TikTok. Even my Twitch whispers were telling me how I need to either better and or kill myself. As this spiraled more and more out of control, a lot of people demanded more evidence because there really was none other than the person's word. It was kind of a trust me bro moment. And honestly, looking back on it, I feel like at this point it should have been obvious that the person was at least a little bit full of shit if they couldn't provide any evidence. But lucky for us, they outed themselves by letting us know what VOD they were in and that they came to chat, which really narrowed it down because only one person had come in to chat that day. So in the last video, I had reviewed basically almost the entire VOD, or at least all the games that I played with them. And upon further inspection, their entire argument fell apart. Like, it was pretty obvious that I was talking about anything else. I was talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, new Ghostface cosmetic leaks, just a bunch of bullshit. And that video performed really well. I mean, a lot of people came to my side. Those of you who know me and those of you who don't know me came to support me because it was pretty much blatantly obvious that these were all lies. Now, what's funny is that the original comment and other TikToks posted about me have all since been deleted ever since the video dropped, which proves that the original comment was full of shit, but also the other videos that were made about me, which I didn't really address in the last video, but yes, there were other videos made about me saying, oh, this is my experience with Stalkedd, they're racist, homophobic, people I have never even matched into a game with. But it was funny how when a bigger spotlight was shined on the subject, well, when the subject was put into more light, all of those were since deleted. This plot to fuck me over and completely ruin my image actually backfired, and it led to a significant small little boost in my Discord and my Twitch followings, as well as YouTube. A lot of the new people being trans, so it's pretty obvious that there was no transphobia involved in this community at all. And I really thought that that would just be the end of it. I was already planning my next few videos when I suddenly got some weird DMs. Basically, the last video got extremely popular, I guess considering the time frame. I mean, it did like 10K in the first day. And it seems a fair amount of you guys did your own research, went to the VOD and watched the clips, and what happened was a little weird. So basically, that original survivor that had come into my chat was named Pissin' Jimmy. Now, I'd never directly called them out by name in the video as to not bring unnecessary hate or unwanted attention towards them, but their name was still in the VOD, you know what I mean? You were still able to go back in the VOD and see what was going on. And I guess some of Pissin' Jimmy's friends must have seen the video and done the research for themselves because within a short notice, Pissin' Jimmy themselves were notified about the video. And I know this because Jimmy joined my Discord server and DM'd me. And what I saw was interesting. I didn't know if it was a prank or if maybe I had legitimately messed up, but they were basically confused as to why I was lumping them in with this drama. Now, I need to remind you guys that the original TikTok commenter that made these accusations claimed that this was them. They dropped the specific VOD as well as said that they came into my chat and, well, Pissin' Jimmy was the only person to come into my chat that day. And although I wouldn't label Pissin' Jimmy's interaction in my chat as necessarily toxic, it definitely was not pleasant. Of course, this led to the clip of me saying, oh, when I see you, I'll show you what real toxicity looks like. I hope I run into you again. You know what? I'm gonna run into you again and you're gonna face full toxicity. Fuck you. Except there really was no racism or transphobia even in that interaction, so that's why I was kind of surprised to see the original TikTok labeling as such. Because when you look at what really happened and then when you look at what was claimed in the TikTok comments, it's pretty obvious whoever made the comment was living in a fantasy. But I didn't know how severe that fantasy really was and how far the delusion went. So when Jimmy reached out to me, I was honestly curious and really wanted to respond and see what the fuck was up with them. Maybe they meant a different VOD, or maybe something else happened that I didn't know about in the chat. Maybe someone had reached out to them, or I don't know, I was looking for anything to really give them the benefit of the doubt. But honestly, what I found out was even more shocking and disturbing. It turns out Jimmy didn't leave the comment at all, and Jimmy actually had no affiliation to the person who left the comment. They were actually really chill and even apologized for how the initial interaction went, and so did I. And they're currently chilling in my Discord. Now, the implications here are crazy because now when you observe the situation, it's an entirely different thing. What initially seemed to be entitled survivor syndrome, or just maybe a survivor having a bad day, toxic meltdown, whatever the case may be, it has now gotten much, much worse. When someone leaves comments like this with baseless accusations as well as pretending to be someone else, a few things happen. Obviously, first off, I get in trouble because then people think that I'm being racist and transphobic, and that's not what people want in their content creators, so it wouldn't work out for me, right? This is my job, this is my livelihood. I would get in serious trouble, which I did for no reason because I didn't do anything. Because a lot of people, like it or not, are always going to choose to blindly accept and follow, and really can't be fucked to do their own research. You know, clickbait sells, lies sell, people believe what they want to believe. And not to self-glaze, but to my credit, I think I handled the situation pretty well, because I was honestly devastated when I first saw the influx of death threats, as anyone would be. I mean, I don't think it can really be understated how crazy that is for someone to just go from a dry phone, you know, playing a video game, editing a video, to suddenly there's hundreds of DMs of people telling you to off yourself. Like, it's pretty drastic, especially since it doesn't just stop at people telling you to off yourself. There's people trying to dox you, people trying to find your social media or the social media of your family, friends, coworkers, and send it to them and say, oh, look, your brother, uncle, nephew, whatever is transphobic and racist. You know, the typical cancel culture witch hunt shit that we all know and love. Except it's very different when it actually happens to you. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that I was up crying all night when it happened because I didn't know what to do. But now you're lumping someone else into that, Pissin' Jimmy. Now, Pissin' Jimmy isn't any kind of content creator or social media influencer, but that doesn't mean that they have nothing to lose. When a video like mine does as well as it does, a few people are going to go out of their way to find out the person who initially incited the conflict, which we roll under the guise that it was Pissin' Jimmy. Thankfully, Jimmy was chill about it in DMs, but I was really upset because I thought, what if I put all the bullshit that I had to deal with upon another innocent person? So the original commenter, only known as Ken, I wish I could get more information, but they've since blocked me and I can't see anything. That's really fucked up, man, to put my livelihood into question and my passion and my career into question, as well as jeopardize the life of someone else. I mean, you don't know who that can get to and the consequences that it could have. Make no mistake, I've dealt with my fair share of the weird and parasocial, but this is just next level bullshit. It really puts into perspective just how temporary this all is and how you can lose it all in a moment, which is a really shitty feeling as a content creator, right? To see how fast people will just abandon and leave and slip away, and how it feels like you've built something, but people will just believe some random person on the internet and just leave it all. So I'd like to say thank you to all the new people that came in and showed their support, but I'd like to extend an even bigger thank you to the people out here before, from day one, from before the bullshit. People who waited to give me the chance to defend myself, or just knew my character well enough to know that some shit like this would never slide. I was thinking about stopping YouTube and stopping Twitch and deleting my Discord if this was the shit I had to deal with, but seeing how many people stuck by my side and how many people gave me the benefit of the doubt, or at the very least just were willing to listen to me, I mean, that made me so happy. So thank you guys, seriously. It definitely goes to show that this all hasn't been for nothing and that we actually do have something really great here. Now, what isn't great are some of the accusations that I've been receiving ever since the videos dropped. So I figure that we can just get those out of the way right now. So one of the things that upset people from the last video was they didn't like how I was using my DMs with a trans viewer beforehand to show how I'm supportive of others. A few people said that it came off like I was using them as like a tool or like some kind of like get out of jail free card. But in truth, they're just someone who supports the community, and we had like a pretty lengthy conversation before the fact, and I made sure to secure consent. You know, I didn't just flash it on screen. I did let them know what was going to be said in the video, what was going to happen, the context that I'd be using it in, and they agreed. So it's not a tool, it's not a weapon, it's not anything to be upset about. I mean, it was something very much consensual and okay for all parties involved. And it really did feel necessary because I felt like I needed any context and exposition that I can get to display my innocence. I mean, these are such big accusations that it's like I would really, you know, pull out all the stops to clear my name, because this is shit that can get you canceled forever. Like, I'm sorry if it offends you, but if I'm a genuine person and I have evidence that displays that, I'm gonna put that evidence on display, because these are serious allegations, which kind of takes me to my next gripe. So there are people out there who are stupid enough to believe that I faked and or staged all this. And their reasoning for thinking that is because, get this, I have a rage bait killer tier list for Dead by Daylight. And although it would be fair to say that I do my fair amount of rage bait and trolling, I mean, this is just not a box that I'd want to put myself into. Stalkedd says Pyramid Head is C tier and Stalkedd hates trans people are two different headlines. And the assumption that I would put all of this shit upon myself for 10k views when I have a plethora of videos that do much better and I have multiple videos over 100k. I mean, I was really excited for the FNAF chapter and that was like where my heart was and my mind was as far as content creation goes. I had a lot to say about the chapter still, and we were even doing FNAF Friday every week, right? I was trying to play Five Nights at Freddy's every week, and this just kind of all muddied that up a little bit. So if I were to stage some drama, it wouldn't be at this time and it would not be about topics such as this, nor would I even do that. But yeah, do not send hate towards Piss and Jimmy. It turns out whoever did leave the comment was someone who I hadn't even matched up in a game with at all. Someone completely parasocial that was just out to get me. That I don't even know, dude. How crazy is that? I don't even know this person. They just want to see me fail. So fuck them. I hope you guys take care. I appreciate the support. Everyone that's been watching these videos and keeping up with this. Shout out to you guys. And this really did backfire for them because I mean, the community is now, it was always positive, but it is just so much more positive and there's just so much more love now and a lot more trust too. So I really appreciate you guys and I hope you all have a good day and take care.